Okay, welcome to our fourth tutorial on how to use computer-aided design. What we're going to show you today is how to take your design from the computer and use a machine, which is known as computer-aided manufacture, to make your product. Now, lots of you won't have one of these machines at home, but your school may have invested in one. So when you are back at school, this is something you could use to design and make lots of products. Now, lots of the schools that I've been working with have been doing lots of baking to raise money for their school. So what we're going to show you today is how you can use a plotter cutter to make stencils to be able to dust icing onto your baking to help your product relate to the theme. And today we're going to use the theme Easter. So as you can see, the design is on screen, but there's a few things that we need to do to prepare your design before we're able to cut it. So let me just zoom in. Now please bear with us on the technical front, as I'm very new to doing things online. So first things first, we need to change the colour of the lines which we want to cut. So we're going to select with the select tool the lines that I want the machine to cut. Now the machine is called a plotter cutter. Inside the machine there is a knife, and that knife will cut the lines that I tell it to cut. So I want it to cut the outline, so I'm going to select that outline, I'm going to turn it red. I also want it to cut the outline of the bunny. So I'm going to select the bunny and I'm going to click on red. Once I've done that, then I need to prepare the sheet ready for printing. So I'm going to click on the page icon, and I need the printer to communicate with the plotter cutter, because I don't want my knife cutting a line over here when it needs to cut a line here. So what we need to add, and if I try and zoom in and try and refocus that for you, is we're going to add what we call registration marks. So if you look at the page at the moment, it's blank. If I click on the registration mark, can you see what's happened? We've got a line in the corner, a square in that corner and a line in the other corner. These registration marks will allow the plotter to find the printed image. Once you've done that, you can feed cardboard into your printer. So luckily I've got a printer here. I'm just going to put some cardboard in there. Okay, and then you can send the design to print. So to do that, like you do with any printed image, you go to File. I'm just going to zoom that in for you, and print. And I'm going to use colour printing and a fine setting, and you can see that's going to come out of the printer. And here's a finished product that I made earlier. Okay. Once that's printed, we're going to feed it into the plotter cutter, and the plotter cutter is going to cut it out. What you need to do next is you need to take the sheet, place it on the plastic sheet, making sure it's in the corner and it's straight and square, and then press it down with your hands to make sure it sticks onto the sheet. What you need to do then is line it up so that it is against that line there on the cutter, and it is fed between that roller and that roller, and press this button here and it feeds it into the machine. So once you've done that, you then go over to the software and you need to click on, oh excuse that, not now, you click on the send icon. If I make sure that's nice and clear for you, as you can see, it shows you what you're going to cut. So we need to click on this icon that says line, not simple. If you click on simple, the cutter will cut every single line. Even the black lines, it will cut all lines. If you click on to line, you can choose which colours to cut. So as you can see with the black line, I have deselected it, sorry, so it doesn't cut. So I've taken the arrow off. If I put that on, you can see it would cut the black. We don't want it to cut the black, so we're going to turn it off. We only want it to cut the red. So as you can see here, red lines, card. It's really important that you instruct it to cut the right material. To change the material, you click on the arrow. But we're going to stick with card, so we're happy with that. And we're going to cut it. So once you've set that up, the machine is connected to you using the USB. And when the cutter's ready to cut, it will say ready. If I unplug it for you, you can see that it says unavailable. If I replug it, it starts to sync and then it says ready. Once it says ready, you can then press send. So if you click on the send button, it will then start cutting. So the cutter at the moment is trying to find the registration marks. Now it's setting the cut depth. Now it's going to cut out your image. Once it's cut, you press that button there and it will spit the material out. You can then peel off the outer piece of card carefully, put it to the side, and then if you carefully peel off the stencil, you can see that you're left with a stencil, and you've also got yourself a little bunny. Okay, so as you can see, here's the bunny and here's one we made earlier. So we've now got two stencils here and here, and we've got two bunnies. So actually what we could do is those bunnies could go on top of our cakes as well. So what do you think you could do using this software? If you haven't got a very flash cutter like this, don't worry, because you can cut it out simply using scissors. You may need a little help when you come to cutting out the inner shape. Hope you have fun exploring and experimenting, making stencils using computer-aided design. Thank you for listening. Please keep following us to see any future tutorials. We are going to be exploring Easter all week. Thank you. Goodbye. Okay, so here's our stencil from earlier. We're going to now show you how you can use it to dust some icing. So I'm going to put the stencil in the middle of the Victoria sponge that we baked earlier. We're then going to, if you just wait a moment, I'm going to use I made a bit of a mess there, never mind. I'm going to put a bit of icing sugar into the sieve, and then I'm going to dust it onto the bunny. Very careful to not get it outside the stencil. Now you could make a bigger stencil. Dust, dust, dust. There we go. Now I wouldn't normally bring food products into my office, but it felt like the best way to show you. So let's lift up the stencil really carefully and let's see what our outcome looks like.
Wow.
Does that look okay?
Yeah.
So, as you can see, we've used that as a stencil for our baking. Could you do the same? Thank you for listening. I hope you have fun having a go at all of our Easter activities. Thank you.